In this example, I just want to talk about one of your homework problems. They give you a table. You can pause the video and read all this on your own. I will just summarize it for you. They give you a table where the input is the body weight of a person and the output is the number of drinks it takes to make that person legally intoxicated. So a 100-pound person, it would take 2 drinks for them to be legally intoxicated. A 225-pound person, 4.5 drinks. Your data could vary in the example that you get or the homework problem that you get online, but the idea is going to be the same. The inputs will be body weight, the outputs will be number of drinks. And they ask you to select the correct graph from a list of graphs, but I want you to be able to graph it by hand. So I want to show you what I expect you to be able to do on the exam. Okay, so if you're going to graph real world data, you want to do it in such a way that you label things appropriately. So I'm going to graph the data in this table, and I'm only going to need a first quadrant because both coordinates are positive, and I'm going to label the input axis, the horizontal axis, I'm going to label that body weight, and then I should put the units down. And then the vertical axis, I'm going to label that number of drinks. And that's short for number of drinks it takes to be legally intoxicated, but I didn't want to write all of that down. So basically, I'm going to plot the points in this table. So scaling, we need to talk about scaling. Notice it starts out at 100, and then it does go in order, which is nice. That doesn't always happen. Then it goes 150, 200, 225. I'm thinking we should probably go by 25s, and I'll even start at 100, which means I need to put a break in the graph. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I start, let me move this down just a little bit. If I start my first scale mark at 100, but then after that I go by 25, so the next one would be 125. This distance is 100 and this distance is only 25, so that's kind of weird. To let the reader of your work know that you meant to do that, put a little break in the graph, but indicated by that squiggle there. Okay, and then we're going to go all the way to 225. So let me put in my scale marks, try and make them evenly spaced. Get as far as I can. And doing it by hand, they're not quite going to be evenly spaced, but it's good enough. 150, 175, 200, and then 225. And it might look a little nicer if I pull that down a little further. Okay. So you're not going by ones, obviously, in this real-world data problem. So keep that idea in mind. And then also on the vertical axis, oh, maybe we could go by ones, right? Sometimes you do go by ones. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try and make the scale marks evenly spaced and label all the scale marks. You don't have to go by the same scale on both axes, but when you change the scale, you do need to label what you're going by. Okay, and then after that, it's just a matter of plotting points. So 100 goes to 2. It'd be best to use graph paper here, but this will work. 100 goes to 2. 150 goes to 3. 150 goes to 3. I'm going to go right about there. And then 200 goes to 4. And then 225 goes to 4.5, 4.5. So right about there. It's not going to be perfect when you do it by hand. But I do want you to note, it sure looks like the points lie in pretty close to a straight line. Now I want to show you what the problem looks like in the online homework. Okay, so here's the actual online homework problem. Notice that you're not asked to graph the points in this table by hand. You're asked to select the correct graph. And I just want to show you how to zoom in on the graph so you can make sure that you select the correct one. If you hit any of the bottom icons, it'll give you a nice picture of the graph. Obviously, that's not it because the graph we got is more linear in nature, not a bunch of lines stuck together, but one line. So it's either going to be C or D. Now, in the problem that you get, the actual correct answer could be a different letter. But it looks to me like it's probably going to be D. Let's see, we know 100 goes, an input of 100 goes to an output of 2. So the point 100 comma 2 would be on the graph. Okay, look, it's going by, on the horizontal axis, it's going by tens. How do I know that? 10, 20, 30, 40, that fits. So this must be 100 right here, and it goes up to 2. So weight of 100 corresponds to 2 drinks to be legally intoxicated. Okay, so it's looking like D is my answer, so I select D, check the answer. Hey, I did a good job. And then the other part of the problem I want to show you is it asks you to make a prediction based on the graph. So a 125-pound person can consume how many drinks? Fill in the box in order to be considered intoxicated. So we have to go back to the graph, go to 125 on the graph. Well, we know it's going by 10, so 125 would be right in between the 120 scale mark and the 130 scale mark. So 125, so go up to the graph, and it looks like about 2.5. That person can drink 2.5 drinks, or should drink less than that if they don't want to be considered intoxicated. Check the answer, and I did a good job again. So I just wanted to show you how to zoom in on the graph so that you can actually read it and make that prediction.